What's up, everybody? This is Mystic Crow, and I'll be doing an out-of-theater reaction thoughts on Final Destination Bloodlines. Full disclosure, I am fairly new to this franchise. I literally just watched all the movies over the past 3 days, and God, I feel bad for you guys. The last movie came out in 2011. Y'all had to wait 14 years. I waited like 4 hours for this. But after seeing this movie, I feel like the wait was worth it for you guys. Yeah. I had never seen these movies before and never really bothered to. And then my friend was like, hey, let's go see the new Final Destination. I was like, I haven't seen the other ones. And then he was like, just watch it all on HBO Max. I was like, fuck it, I'll do that. Anyway, so this movie has an interesting twist on the Final Destination plot. If you know Final Destination, the way these movies start out is you follow this group of characters and then a disaster happens. But then, right as one character dies, they flash back. No, this person had like a premonition that everyone was going to die. So in that, they get a couple people out of there, and the disaster still happens, but these people survive, but then one by one, they all die. And it's a really interesting premise of just like kind of how death works. They keep talking about death as this presence, almost like it's a person, and I really like that. This movie does something a little different with it. It starts out in the 60s, where this girl is going to like this grand opening of a restaurant that's on top of this tower, which is clearly supposed to look like the Seattle Space Needle, and a bunch of things go wrong. And like any Final Destination movie, shit goes down. Everything starts, Jesus Christ, like, the fucking floors are made of glass and there's a dance floor on the glass. That's a terrible fucking idea. And, yeah. People die. And then, right as this girl dies, we flash forward to the present day. That confuses me. That confused me. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, we later learn that this girl is the granddaughter of that girl from the past. And she saved a lot of people after having that premonition. And because of that, they all, of course, ended up dying. And now death is coming after her and her bloodline. Because, she was supposed to die and she wasn't supposed to have these two kids, and those two kids aren't supposed to have their own kids, and one by one they all get picked off. And then many creative Final Destination deaths occur. This one, I will definitely say, it has a little bit more character depth. You're following a family, so everything's a little more personal, the deaths, whereas like the other ones, they were about a group of friends or people that kind of knew each other, or people that didn't know each other at all until this disaster occurred. But this time it's a family, so it's a lot more personal to all these characters, and I really love seeing how that all unfolds, and you really get the sense of like how protective these people are of each other. Whereas, some of them, they'll argue and shit, but like, it's like, no, we're family, we're gonna make sure nobody fucking dies, which I really like that. As far as the characters go, they're all pretty enjoyable. You have the main girl, and she's been getting her grandmother's visions. Her grandmother's premonition has been transferred over to her, and yeah, she's getting paranoid. It's affecting her personal life. I really like that. And then we kind of get to learn more about her family. Their cousins were also a big part, and yeah, if you've seen the trailer, you've seen that at the cookout. That was fun to unfold. But yeah, as far as like these new characters go, I think my favorite of all of them was, I don't know any of their names, or I don't even know any of the actors in this. But yeah, the tattooed guy, he was probably my favorite. I just love him. There's a couple fake outs in this. I don't really want to spoil this, but we've had some fake outs in the past, but these ones especially just kept catching me off guard. I was like, wait, what? What the fuck? What just happened? And yeah, but when the deaths do happen, they're pretty fun. Some of them are Some of them I was literally like, wait, that's it? That's how they die? But no. Later on, I want to say there's two deaths in particular that really stick out, and I'll just say they take place in the hospital, and I'm not going to spoil anything. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, those were my favorite deaths. The characters, they're fine. You know, when you watch a horror movie, most of the time you're just watching these people get killed. But no, I do like that they go the extra mile to have them be a family, and you can kind of connect with that. And a really good horror movie is one that makes you not want these characters to die, where it's just like, you know they're going to die, but you don't want to see it happen, you know? Speaking of characters, oh my god. Tony Todd. Rest in peace, man. He gave his final performance in this, and it was very bittersweet. Especially there was a moment where he's basically talking to the audience. From what I hear, this wasn't scripted. It was something he wanted to say to the camera, because I guess he knew he was going to pass away, and he unfortunately did, which he was always my favorite part to see in these movies. It sucks that he didn't make an actual appearance in 3. He was just a voiceover, like that devil statue outside of the roller coaster. That was Tony Todd's voice, and he didn't appear at all in the 4th movie, which was unfortunate. But he gave his final performance. He gave it his all, and now he's gone, which sucks. Rest in peace, man. I can't say it enough. Can't really think of much that I didn't like. You know, I do have to say, like, I haven't had any much problems with any of these Final Destination movies. Again, I'm a fairly new fan of these. The only problems I've had was, like, 4 is probably my least favorite because it's very forgettable. But yeah, I think the only way you can, like, fuck up a Final Destination movie is just to have, like, really underwhelming deaths, because that's what we're really here for. But no, the deaths were handled very well, especially the last ones. Oh my god. They put in a little throwback. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but yeah, that caught me off guard, and I fucking loved it. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I don't know how we'd rank these, because again, as a fairly new fan, the second one is probably my favorite, and I would say 5 is probably my second favorite. I don't know if I put this one or the 5th one as my second favorite. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch all these movies again and see what my thoughts are. But yeah, I had a really good time. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. Go out and see it. That's all for now. I want to keep doing this. I want to start seeing, like, one movie every week. If there's no movies out in theaters, I'll find something. I got a whole bunch of movies on here that I haven't seen, so maybe I'll talk about those. Well, yeah, that's all. Until then.